A year ago, if you told me we'd argue about putting on this mask, I'd laugh in your face. But now, if I laugh in your face without putting on this mask, I could go to jail. Alright guys, before we get started, make sure you subscribe to the channel below, hit the notification bell so you can stay up to date every time I drop a new video as I uncover the topics, at least from my perspective. Alright, love it, hate it, let's get into it. What I want to talk about today is this.
Across the country, tense moments caught on camera as more businesses enforce new rules to stop the spread of the virus. This customer at a Miami Beach Publix went on an explicit rant after being denied entrance for not wearing a mask.
I'm filing a lawsuit.
Okay, so we're a little upset. But what's the argument really all about? That's the question. You got people over here saying, for God's sakes, put on a mask. And then you got people over here saying, putting on a mask doesn't work. And as a matter of fact, it can actually do you harm. Did you know that? So what's the issue? Like, who's correct? Which side's right? Here's the reality in the situation. You're both right and you're both wrong. So first we got to look at how COVID-19 is transmitted. It's transmitted through respiratory droplets, and that's a transfer, or contact traces, so you get it on you and you transfer it that way. And I mean, it's crazy to think even some new studies are showing that it may be viral aerosol, and that's where the argument of getting through the mask comes.
That white powder flying out of Puff Daddy's mouth glows under a black light, so you can get a sense of just how many particles from that cough could end up on you.
So the question is the mask even effective? Should we need it, or are we just being controlled? And there's so much information out here, it was hard for us to kind of get our minds over what's real, what's not real. At first we were saying COVID's not even real, it's a hoax, but then people start dying and we go, okay, COVID's real, but masks don't work and we need herd immunization. And there's a lot of things floating around, even to the point to where animals can get it. There's tigers with it. Can your dog get it? Let's slow down and just think about what's going on. Studies show that how you feel about coronavirus and how you feel about wearing a mask depends less on scientific facts and more on what news channel you're watching. And that's where we have this dichotomy of thought that's going on in America and this argument against wear a mask or don't wear a mask. Does wearing a mask help prevent the spread of coronavirus? Yes. Is wearing a mask potentially dangerous to your health? Yes. Prolonged use of the mask is dangerous to your health. You have to look at the consistencies in each study.
Didn't we do this yesterday?
I don't know what you mean.
Don't mess with me, pork chop.
Here's some things that'll help you understand what we're dealing with and how we should proceed as a nation. The first thing we should be looking at is filter quality factor, or Qfactor, as this graph right here is showing you. And what you're looking for is something with a 3 or higher. If it's below a 3, it won't work for you. First, you got to look at what material you're using, and there's different types of masks. So here, take a look at this. You have to understand what type of mask are you putting on? Are you putting on a surgical mask? Are you putting on the N95 mask, which is the most highly recommended? Are you putting on an actual respirator, a full face respirator? Because these are going to have different levels of protection. And that's those initial factors that you have to look at before we even get into an argument of does a mask work or doesn't it work? But studies have shown, with the WHO, with the CDC, with the Mayo Clinic, they all support that masks help prevent the spread of coronavirus, but there's a catch. If you're gonna wear a mask, you have to make sure that you wear the proper type of mask, that it has the proper fit, and also that you do the following things. Wash your hands before and after putting on and taking off your mask. Make sure that you don't touch your face while you're out. And if you do touch your face, change your mask or wash your hands. And most importantly, if you're wearing a cloth mask especially, make sure that you wash it. If you don't wash your mask, you're just carrying the contaminants from place to place, and it serves you no purpose. And thus the argument comes in, masks don't work.
Aha! Aha!
But it's important to remember that mask is not a substitute for social distancing. All right, so in between all the arguing and all the articles that we're sharing and all the fact finding and all the fact checking, we really have to look at how do we come up with a solution, because as a nation, we're not doing that good of a job. The reality is the United States has had its trouble containing its virus, and I'm not blaming any leadership, but I am saying that even leadership now is saying that wearing a mask is patriotic, but it's not just the mask. So we have to try. We all have to try together, and we have to take the proper steps, because in the midst of us arguing and in the midst of us, putting out facts and not believing what's going on, there's real people that are dying daily. And we have to figure out a way that we can prevent the spread of this, and it's going to take all of us together. If you're working with the mask on, I understand the problems. Make sure you're taking breaks. Talk to your supervisors. Make sure you're not using those masks prolonged without a break. Every hour you need to be taking a 5 to 10 minute breather, and you need to go outside and get fresh air and let your brain breathe again. That's important. But we also need to make sure that we adhere to guidelines when we're going into places of wearing a mask. Arguing at the door won't help.
You are in violation of my constitutional rights.
And I'm sure you heard the stories of the people that said coronavirus is a hoax and then ended up with the coronavirus. And some of them even died. So what I'm saying is this is serious. I'm not saying move in fear. My scripture for today is 2 Timothy 1:7. God did not give us a spirit of fear, but of love, power, and a sound mind. So in this situation, fear is not the answer. But what is the answer? Love for your neighbor, power to do what is right, and a sound mind to know what is right. That's what's important in this moment. So tell me how you feel. Comment below. Should we wear a mask? Should we wear a mask? You tell me why. I'm sure you will. And let me know, when do you think we'll be done with coronavirus? Is this something we're going to have to deal with forever? Are they going to be selling masks with wallets and purses? Is this something that we're going to continue on, or will we be done before Christmas? Comment below, and if you like this video, make sure you share it, subscribe to the page, hit the notification bell, and come back next week as you see my perspective. Love it, hate it, let's talk about it.